Why can't you ever just stop me?
Interesting facts about famous people.
What are anti-westerns? Traditionally, Western movies revolve around clear-cut heroes and villains. The Westerns of early directors like John Ford made a genre that was the quintessential vehicle for telling tales about America on the big screen and a sanitized mythological version of an ugly chapter in history. In the late 60s and early 70s, at the dawn of the new Hollywood movement, the Western myths were unleashed and the ugly underbelly was exposed. If you enjoy this video, hit the notification button to get my new videos. Head over to my channel if you want to check out my many other videos. The link is in the description. Please take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel as well. I do appreciate it. Let's get into it. McCabe and Mrs. Miller, 1971. Director Robert Altman first self-applied the term anti-Western to his film McCabe and Mrs. Miller, which upends just about every trope of the genre in the bleakest, most cynical way possible. Revisionist Westerns have now become more common. Instead of a heroic gunman, the leading man is a coward, lying about his reputation to get ahead. Instead of facing his opponents in a duel in the middle of the town, McCabe engages them in a catch-me-if-you-can chase. Consistently subverting expectations, Warren Beatty and Julie Christie give unforgettable performances in their roles. True Grit, 2010. The original film adaptation of True Grit, starring John Wayne as Rooster Cogburn, is a fantastic western that offered a flawed counterpoint to Wayne's usual clear-cut hero type. However, the film shifted the story's focus from its true hero, Matty Ross, onto its grizzled sidekick character to reboot it as a vehicle for Wayne's star power. The Coen brothers' 2010 remake kept the focus on Matty and ended up helming a rare remake that improves on its classic predecessor. Haley Steinfeld, Jeff Bridges, Matt Damon, and Josh Brolin are all perfectly cast in the lead roles.
I don't think you're gonna do it.
Django Unchained, 2012. While it adheres to plenty of tropes of the spaghetti western, like the hero gunning down the bad guys in a glorious violent finale, Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained is hardly an average western. The director himself calls it a southern because it takes place in the antebellum era South as opposed to the Wild West. The titular role may have been written with Will Smith in mind, but Jamie Foxx proved to be the perfect actor to bring Django Freeman to life, while Christopher Waltz, Samuel L. Jackson, Leonardo DiCaprio all give impeccable supporting performances. El Topo, 1970, the defining work of the acid western subgenre. Alejandro Jodorowsky's El Topo is a bizarre, gonzo, avant-garde, cinematic trip marked by its religious imagery, black-clad epitomous anti-hero, and Eastern-leaning philosophical musings. In addition to directing, Jodorowsky wrote the script, composed the music score, and starred as the title character. El Topo is truly a movie like no other, and certainly like no other western. The Proposition, 2005. John Hillcoat's brutal, underrated gem. The proposition brings the tropes of American westerns to the Australian outback, with the story of an outlaw being tasked with killing his older brother to save the life of his younger brother. There's a terrifying realism in all the shootouts. The impact of every shot can be felt. No character is protected by plot armor, etc. And buried in all the grisly violence is an abundance of poignant social commentary.
Why can't you ever just stop me?
The Wild Bunch, 1969. Infamously one of the most violent movies ever made, Sam Peckinpah's The Wild Bunch leans into the grisly bloodshed that defines the Western genre, to an almost satirical degree. The frontier was a dangerous place, and Peckinpah doesn't try to sanitize that. This is an American director who made a World War II film from the perspective of the Germans after all. The Revenant, 2015. Alejandro G. Inarritu brought an arthouse lens to the Western story with his historic epic, The Revenant. Leonardo DiCaprio stars as Hugh Glass, a man who is mauled by a bear and left for dead by his friends. Cinematographer Emmanuel Lubezki's long takes immerse the viewer in the danger of each set piece, whether Glass is fending off French hunters or riding a horse off the edge of a cliff.
Message. Warochti.
The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, 2007. In addition to having one of the longest titles in film history, The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford is a beautifully bleak look at one of the Old West's most fabled outlaws. The title spoils the ending, but knowing the inevitable tragedy that awaits these two men is what makes the movie work. It's long and slow-paced, but the title promises something terrible is coming. Brad Pitt and Casey Affleck give nuanced performances in the titular roles, while Roger Deakins' cinematography is breathtaking as usual. Unforgiven, 1992. Clint Eastwood retired from the Western genre after directing Unforgiven, and he couldn't have given the genre that made his career a more perfect swan song. The story of William Money's reluctant return to action. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, 1969. Screenwriter William Goldman had a tough time selling his near-perfect screenplay for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid because Hollywood studios refused to accept a Western that had outlaws as the protagonists. Protagonists that fled instead of fought, and an ambiguous downer ending. Goldman's screenplay arguably marked the inception of the anti-Western. He eventually got it made, and that script was beautifully executed by director George Roy Hill, anchored by the palatable chemistry of the well-matched Paul Newman and Robert Redford.
If I knew you were gonna stroll.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate your likes and subscribers. Hit the notification button to get my new videos. Take a look at my channel and check out my Facebook page. The links are in the description. I am Wrangler. Bye for now. See you again soon.
Interesting facts about famous people.